Hey, welcome back to Scorpion Insights. I'm Jamie Adams, joined today by my good friend and colleague, Amber Smith. Amber spent 5 years here working a lot with employment law attorneys, a really niche subject. We've talked a lot about that in different segments here at Scorpion. I want to talk about advice that you give attorneys in a capacity that I know we get a lot of questions around, and that is, okay, Amber, should I do SEO or should I do search advertising, like pay-per-click? What's your answer?
Well, Jamie, my answer is complicated because, again...
Okay, this is a new word. Now,
complicated.
I've asked this question to other people for other practice areas, and the answer that I always get is, it depends.
I thought that that's probably what they'd say, so I said complicated.
I think that's a better descriptor. Okay, tell me why it's complicated.
Well, again, it's always dependent on someone's goals. And it's also dependent on, let's say you have a new firm. A new firm has absolutely no ranking power whatsoever.
They're not ranking it all on Google, right? Because they got a brand new website, or maybe they don't have a website at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
So if we want to get return on investment for them, if they're going to wait for SEO, they could wait 6 months to a year before they ever see a return on investment.
Yeah.
So it's really important that that person has paid advertising to supplement while the SEO is building.
Got it.
So that's one scenario. Another scenario is someone that maybe they already have some ranking. They're on page 3, page 2. I would definitely say absolutely invest in SEO, because SEO is going to be what drives down your cost per acquisition or how much you're spending to bring in a new client.
If you get to page 1.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, again, just to kind of frame up the scenario, that firm that may have a presence already, they're ranking on page 2, page 3, like they're right on the precipice of getting to a point where they're getting some visibility on page 1. So why not go ahead and spend a little bit more money doubling down on your organic search opportunity to get to page 1? Because once you're there, you actually start reaping the benefit of more traffic, more leads through organic search. Makes perfect sense. What about, again, I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. If they have to choose one or the other, like, do you ever say, well, if you got to choose one or the other, choose this one or choose that one? Or is your advice typically, hey, I get it, you may be budget conscious, but you really need to be investing in both?
Yeah.
Like, what's your approach there typically?
Always invest in both, unless your budget is just to the point where you cannot invest in both. And then it depends, again, what you're going after and what their budget is. If they have, a $1,500 budget a month and they're in LA, that's going to be a waste of their money to invest in paid advertising. So they would need to start investing in SEO. I always say, like, unless you have the example we had before of Podunk Phil.
Another insight video we talk about Podunk, Northern California. If you know, you know.
But if that's the case, then you potentially are not wanting cases from there because there's just not a lot of cases to get. But even in that instance, I say spend $1,500 a month and get visibility there. At least you're branding yourself. If somebody does have a case, doesn't hurt for you to get it from there. Yeah,
makes sense. I want to throw another, I think this is a fairly unique scenario for employment law attorneys because, as you talked about in other videos, we haven't hit on it here, but most employment law attorneys, unlike criminal defense or family law, they typically don't want to just get cases from like the city that they're in or the zip codes they're in. They actually want to get cases perhaps from the entire state that they're in. But let's say that's the case and you're working with a firm in, say, Southern California, and they're in San Diego. And when someone in San Diego searches Google for employment law attorney near me or employment law attorney in San Diego, they rank organically on page 1 there. And they come to you and say, Amber, I'm doing great in San Diego. I want to get cases in San Francisco. And you say probably, well, do you have an office in San Francisco? And they say, no, I've got an office in San Diego. They're going to say, well, I rank great in San Diego. Help me rank in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Like, how easy is that?
Well, if you want to get an office in San Francisco, then it's going to be a whole lot easier, but it's not easy to rank in San Francisco if you are in San Diego. So what do you want to do? You want to invest in paid advertising because then you can spread those dollars out and you can hit San Francisco, Sacramento, Oakland, whichever areas that you want to focus on. Now you have the ability to have top of the page presence there. Yeah, makes perfect sense. You can lean in your organic presence in San Diego and start to invest your advertising dollars in markets where you don't have an organic presence. Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Great advice. It is complicated. It is dependent upon the scenario. So awesome insights from Amber. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll have a lot more Scorpion insights specifically for employment law attorneys on future episodes. Until next time, we hope you have a great day.